Here we go, KZ 1815. I think it's time for E4. G6. So he wants to transpose into a queen spawn opening, maybe a Pierce or something. Looks like. So this is a case where I could play the 3 pawns attack. And I'm just going to go for the center there. So it looks like he's got some kind of standard setup here. Let's see. The vulnerability here maybe is the E-pawn, or the D-pawn rather. But he's not yet trying to undermine it. Maybe later he's going to play C5 and knight C6. Yeah, for now, let's just get castled kingside, get the rook on the F file here. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's going after that C5 idea. Instead, he's blocking things on the dark squares. Well, his pawns are on the light squares. He's got this bishop that's trapped, so let's take it. Since there's no pressure on the d-pawn, and the knight is not needed to defend. His bishop has nowhere to retreat to. So I said. Okay. What order should I do it in? I guess I kick the bishop first. It's got one square it can go to. Then I will attack it with the knight. So I'll trade off that bishop one way or another. Now how to take with the rook? Maybe lift the rook up. Help defend the king. If I'm not running into any tactical problems here, might be a good square for it. Try and get doubled quickly on the F file here. I'm really surprised you didn't take right away, because this is helping me get my attack rolling on the king side. How to do this, though? Well, there's the immediate F5. Pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, rook takes. And then, you know, I've still got this pawn here, so his knight has to come out this way or this way. And it opens up a line for my bishop. Maybe it's good to strike right away, I don't know. I always prefer to kind of prepare things a little more before I open up. But this square is not covered. The queen could come out to H4 here. G5 is covered by the bishop. If he does nothing, though, I'm just going to push this pawn forward. And he sacrifices there. Okay. I still want to push that pawn forward. Oh, he takes with the bishop. Okay, so he's getting two pawns for the piece, maybe even a third one. Could do that. I could also pin the bishop first, right? Because the king is in the center there. And it's threatening to win it, so he does have to react. He can't push the d-pawn. But if he defends the bishop, say I go here, plays queen there, I don't have any great way to increase the pressure on the bishop. So let's do this. Let's get a piece out off the back rank. And And he's getting the queen into the game that way. So I can block with the queen here. Also hitting his rook in the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's got 2 pawns for a piece. Got an extra bishop. And you know, if he trades queens and takes the pawn, then it's 3 pawns for a piece, but which is maybe materially even. But with my extra piece there, you know, I think I should be in good shape. So let's see. Let's start by attacking here. Yeah, I was thinking about putting my rook behind the bishop to set up a discovered attack, but he could just castle then. And you know, if with this one, if I just keep increasing the pressure on this pawn here, I should actually win it. I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. But certainly this rook is coming. Okay, so he did get castled, decided to give up the pawn. So let's take it. I'm hitting this pawn. Now let's just get this rook into the game, get the other rook into the game. So we're back to 2 pawns for the piece. He had won a 3rd pawn, and then I won it back. So this knight, I need to get that knight into the game. He may be going for some kind of he may be going for some kind of attack there. I can block with my rook this way if he checks me. Maybe he could even have gone for a perpetual. So this was the idea, block here. Does that work? He's got a check. So I block, and he does the check, and I step back here to defend the rook. He takes this rook, I take back, and then he takes this rook. So it actually does not work. Getting my king over to a safer side of the board, I guess. It's got another check here. I can block, or he can just take the pawn. I take this pawn. And I'm preparing to double on the 2nd rank there, or the 7th rank from his point of view. And I want to get this knight into the game. Knight to a4 to c5 looks like an attractive possibility, as well as rook to e7 there. But this is probably a simpler win if there's one less pair of rooks on the board. Okay, I'm taking this way so that he doesn't get another check. Gonna try and round up this pawn. And get my knight into the game, as predicted. And notice the knight covers the checking square here. Okay, so let's think about this. Is there any clever moves like check? He takes and I check and take the knight. I take the rook. But maybe it's simplest just to grab this now. Be a knight. Yeah, it's better to have a knight against 4 pawns. Knight and 3 pawns against 4 pawns rather than knight and 3 pawns against 5 pawns. So let's stop these pawns from coming forward. What I need to do is preserve 1 pawn if I can. How about like this? Maybe this will do it. For the endgame. You know, if he trades off all my pawns, then it's a draw, so I've got to try and preserve 1 pawn. So he should take. He doesn't. Just waiting for me to take. Okay, so now bring my knight in to attack there. Somehow. Say knight here. He's going to step forward with the king. Then he's going to push, huh? So knight here, he steps forward. I drop my knight back here. He pushes. I bring my king back, but my knight is ready to blockade. Yeah, so I think bringing the knight over here is the right way to play this. Okay, so now he decides to take. Makes sense. So this is the pawn I'm going to try and preserve. And knight is just going to step back out of the way. I'm going to blockade his other pawns until I have time to round them up. Okay, he decided to resign there. Yeah, it was gonna run out of he was gonna run out of moves pretty soon. I think even pushing this pawn would fail to take. Well, his king is still in the square. Maybe I couldn't take it, but I could run this pawn down, and while his king is chasing after it, I grab this pawn, and yeah, I'd have an extra pawn. But maybe defending would be even simpler. Anyway, we can check that out in the postmortem, and I will see you guys later. Bye.